Good afternoon, South Australia. Tomorrow is the day that you can take your protest off the streets and into the ballot box. But before you do that, it is important that I tell you about what has been discovered today. Thank you to a lovely lady called Sharon Cousins who brought this to my attention. And before I go into the words that are on the screen here that you all want to know what I mean, I would like to say that it says election fraud in South Australia with a question mark because I'm just presenting you the information. You can decide what you think of it and take it from there. Now, before I go into this breaking news, I also would like to just show you some quick tips about how to vote tomorrow for South Australia. Now, first of all, use a coloured pen, not a black pen, and not the pencil that they provide you. That is rule number one. Rule number two, when using the number 1 and 7, make sure you do it as is shown here. With the 1, make sure it has the top and the tail, and with the 7, make sure it has the line in between. Now, I'm not saying that these types of fraudulent things actually happen, but at least doing this, it really does protect that from happening. So those are some very simple tips. Now, in the lower house, you need to number every box. In the upper house, you need to number at least 1 to 6. Now I'm going to go through this breaking news that I want to show you. So Sharon Cousins has sent me this. Now it's very easy to read through. And if you follow the link in this video, it will take you to this website and show you everything for yourself. Now, when you go to the South Australia website, at the bottom there, when you follow the link, you'll see this. If you make a mistake, don't worry, put a line through the mistake and write the correct information beside it, or you can ask an electoral officer for a replacement ballot paper. Now, in contradiction to that, and you'll see it on here when you go to the website, on the federal website, it doesn't say anything about that. It doesn't say that you can cross something out and change it on the ballot paper. Now, it's really important that you don't want your ballot paper to be messy. You don't want to make mistakes on your ballot paper. There are countless contracts within business and real estate where you can't make mistakes like this. Imagine putting a line through a mistake on a ballot paper. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine doing that. So please make sure you fill in your ballot paper without any messiness. Make sure you write the 1 properly. Make sure you write the 7 properly. Make sure you use a colored pen. And if you stuff up, if you make a mistake, demand a fresh ballot paper, okay? It is your right. You want to be able to fill it in correctly. So please share this information with your friends and family, because no matter how you decide to vote, you want your vote to count, don't you? So make sure you do. The fact that this is on the South Australian website is very worrying. This lady, Sharon Cousins, she tried to bring it to their attention and they seemed shocked themselves and they said they were going to look into it straight away, but they never did. So make no mistake about it. Do not put a cross through your ballot paper and number the boxes correctly. And if you make a mistake, get a new one. I know that I'm repeating myself, but I really need to get this message to you. Now, while I have your attention, RDA is doing a huge campaign for the upcoming federal election. So we have thousands of volunteers around the country that are going to get involved to try and help worthy candidates get into Parliament so that our voices can finally be heard. Over the last 2 years, we have been absolutely ignored and dismissed by our leaders. And it's about time that good, hardworking Australians get into Parliament where they belong so that they can be our voice. So please vote wisely, South Australia. The whole country is looking at you. So good luck. And if you want to volunteer in the federal election, I'll also put the link in the description of this video. So let's get involved. Everything that you do in South Australia tomorrow is preparation for the federal election. The education that you give yourself on preferential voting and education on what the parties stand for and things like that is really important for the federal election. I mean, I've seen in South Australia, there are some electorates, some liberal how to vote cards that have the Greens as their second preference. How is this even possible? Recently in South Australia, there was an abortion legislation till birth, and some Liberals voted for it. Some Labors voted against it as well. So the left and the right and the middle, it's all jumbled up. And we just need to get good people in there, not just from parties, from independents as well. And RDA is planning on doing that in the federal election. And remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? We may not get the balance of power to freedom candidates in the upcoming federal election or South Australian election, but every single thing counts. It all adds up. And maybe in a few elections, we can have the country that we all deserve, which is a free and independent Australia. So good luck, South Australia. Make your vote count. And I will see you again for the federal election, where we're going to absolutely rock and roll and change political history. We actually need to just teach people civics because no one knows how to vote, including myself before now. So thank you for listening and be careful. South Australia, make your vote count.